My name is BrettCash, and I'm doing an informative speech on international business, food taboo, and consumption. All these items are pretty normal in America. Nobody really thinks anything of them. But what I'm about to tell you may change your mind. Worcestershire sauce, tasty steak seasoning, but it's actually made from anchovies melted in vinegar. And then you have Monster. Monster.com lists the ingredient called taurine, and it is actually made from the bile or waste from animals. And then sugar, of course it's sweet, but the whiteness from it comes from a charring of animal bones. And then last but not least, Skittles. Everybody loves Skittles, but if you don't, I'm sorry, but anyways. And there's an ingredient in it that's made from the crushing up of insect cocoons. So the idea is to take these items that may seem normal to you and see how your perception changes once you find out what is actually in there. And in an international business setting, you may go to travel and have lunch with a client you're trying to make a deal with, and you go to a restaurant and you find these unusual foods and foods that have weird things in them. So I'm going to take you on a small journey and show you a couple places and the foods that they have there. First is Mexico. There's a dish there, and though they may look like French fries, they're actually called escamoles, and they are actually fried ant larvae. It's a delicacy there. They're put in tacos, so you might actually not know if you eat them once you're there. And then next, breakfast food is popular in America. Go to Ireland, you eat these sausages like patty things, and they're called black pudding. And it's actually made of fried animal blood and rice. So beware for breakfast in Ireland. And then lunch, travel to Peru, there's fried guinea pig. So I've never really imagined eating that, but I'm sure it'd be very weird. And then you go to supper, you want a big juicy steak, go to France. You have, I guess, it looks good to you, but it's actually horse. So it's not really the cowboy's best place to eat if you go to France. And then for a snack, you can travel to Korea, and here they have certain soups, and one of them is dog soup, which I never really imagined eating like canine, but I'm sure it's very interesting. So, and then there are also foods that are considered bad in other cultures in America. Like marshmallows, those, nobody really knows what those are. And then you have things like alcohol. Muslim religions, they consider alcohol to be off limits. So if you go to a country and you have a meeting and you ask for alcohol at the table, their perception of you will change and the deal could be broken right then. Then you have things like hamburgers, beef. Like Hindu religions, their cows are like sacred to them. So anything that has beef related is off limits. And then you have things like ham. Christmas, everybody enjoys Christmas ham, at least I do. And people of the Islam community, they do not like anything pork related, sausage. This is because pigs are kind of a sign of disgrace because they're, I guess, filthy to them. And so if you eat this or ask for this while visiting that country, it could cause your clientele to spiral downward. And then next, timing is also very important in other countries. People like live in Spain, their supper isn't until 10 or 11 p.m. And that comes from familyeducation.com. And then you have things like dessert is served first in some countries. So you may be, when you go to countries, you may be thrown a curveball. So the best thing to do is study up before you go and be prepared for these different foods. And then also, you might be asking, what do I do if I'm faced with all these situations? Well, one thing you can do is not ask questions. It may seem like a bad idea, but when you get there, do not ask what's in the food. You're more likely to eat it. Because once you find out that there is an insect that's made in that food, you might not want to eat it. So there's an alarm going off in your head saying your stomach doesn't want this. But if your stomach can absolutely not handle the food, move it around a little bit, give it like the half-eaten look. So that way, like, because some countries, if you don't eat anything, they find that offensive. So that could lose your deal right then. So, in conclusion, sometimes you just have to swallow your fear in order to get the deal done.